So this week we're going to meet up with longtime friend and sponsor to do some salmon fishing. We fished up and down the Michigan coast together for nearly 20 years. On this trip we're going to actually head to Ludington, Michigan. It's a neat little town that is very fisherman friendly and has a lot of amenities that some of the other small towns we fished in do not. Fun fact, it's also home of the Badger, the last operating coal-fired steamship in North America. So here we are, Captain Chip Cartwright, his son CJ, setting lines in the dark 30. You know, salmon fishing the first few hours of the day almost always is the most productive for whatever reason. But we're going to start here with some downriggers, dipsy divers, and then maybe some board lines there to even get some more of a coverage spread, just like we do walleye fishing. Glowing the plugs up, like the old J-plug style kind of deal here, just giving her some glow. So, Chip, the sun is coming up, and you just made a little switch, right?
Yeah,
I know you're a spoon guy, but
we've been on a good spoon. 2 plugs program, it's been really good, but this water is flipped on us. It's ice cold. We're marking all our fish down 35, 40 foot of water, and it's 47 degrees down there. So we just put a paddle and a fly out drying. We didn't like the spoons this morning, so we're changing it up. Every day is a little different. Didn't take too long. Here we go.
breaking the ice.
There we go. Look at that.
So,
out. We'll show you here. We got a little tangle up here, but here we go.
So here we got a fly that Chip tied, a little bit of glow tube, and then he's got a VMC treble there.
Yep.
And then we've also explained the other slider line you got on there.
This is the slider, so we get two lures per line. And what I do different is I actually use a cannonball clip, so it's big, quick, and easy. But you put this down, and then as the line bellies out down to the cannonball, this will just slide down your line, hit the belly, and kind of ride there. So you're running 2 lines, or 2 baits off 1 rod. But I like the big clips because it's quick and easy to pop off. And then if you got a spoon there, it slides right over the spoon and right down into the hooks. So it doesn't sit. Like I use a little swivel that sits right on the top of your swivel on your spoon or plug or whatever you got. Kind of choose on it. So I like this method.
I think we need to get the chip fly back out is what we need to do. pretty
nice
healthy.
fish.
It's a pretty healthy fish.
Wow. I think it's because the water's so freaking cold. Yeah, not real zesty.
So again, we got even a little bit different presentation here. Yeah, we got a pair of pliers here, boys.
Yeah. Should be over there.
So we've got, show them that plug there, CJ. So this is like an old school kind of J plug style that started it all. I've got a double treble hook. And a lot of guys like that because the way that it kind of slides through there, the hookups tend to be a little bit better. That is good eating right there. So Chip, explain what's happening here. And we're fishing obviously much closer than we have before, but we're also a little later. Like you're getting ready to pull your boat out.
Yeah. A couple days I'm done here. But all what happened is the cold water moved in. It's, you know, we're fishing, we're in 50 foot of water only, and at 40 down, it's 47 freaking degrees. You know, salmon traditionally like 54. It's kind of your zone. Any kind of little thermocline you look for. We're looking for bait and the fish right now, so we're fishing cold water.
Well, what's going to happen shortly? I mean, these fish, people realize is these are out all over. Like Wisconsin has been really good. They're not good now, but a lot of these rivers here in Michigan, these fish, what are they going to do?
Yeah, we're going to go up the river. That's why I didn't go far from the pier heads today. We set up short. I've been fishing. I haven't been closer than 5 miles to the pier heads in 4 weeks. But this water changed, and you know, I think our best odds is to stay close to the pier heads where those fish are going to stage and get ready. They're already running up the river, some of them. We've already had one batch go through, so.
Less running always is nice. So we have some good casts. We're trying to set some more board lines, and we've got one on the board line. And Chip may argue with me, but I just moved that thing out farther, like walleye style, because that's what we got our first 2 swipes on, putting it a lot farther from the boat. And now he's like, Chief. Oh. Well, that was for that was just karma for that filthy dog. Oh yeah. Oh, he's up. Oh. We got a streamer here. So we've got the high diver, and this one was also pretty high. He's swimming right with me. He's swimming right with me.
Grabbing that
This thing is coming right with me. Chip even thought it was off for a minute. So that's one thing when you're reeling these is you've got to, even though they're ripping.
Well, you're going to have to back way out.
Yep.
I got a hand line of it because it's got a 20 foot.
Oh, yeah.
You still got line there. 4.
So we've got a really long lead. Chip's gonna help me out here. Once I get this diver up, it's kind of like when you watch our walleye trips. There's Chip ready. A lot of stuff going on. Chip's gonna help hand over hand this thing.
He's still not ready.
A little different than when we're walleye fishing, you know. I'll pick on the walleyes. They're not quite fighting like these kings are. Again, this is a high diver, so this temperature thing that we'll kind of come back to, really this was not very deep in the water column. And so this fish is super green is what's going on. Chip's gonna help me because we've got a super long lead on here. And we've got another plug too on this. You just start, fish are a little whacked out. You got leader? Nope. What do you want me to do?
Try to pull him over. I just keep out of it.
I'm in the tip with the diver. Clear.
Playing a dodging game here. Hey, now I just cleared them downriggers. Don't go back in there again.
You want me to let go back?
No. I just gotta wear down a little bit. He's a little zesty yet. He's not ready to come in diving. Okay, you ready, CJ?
Yeah.
So Chip is literally gonna hand over hand this thing because the leader is so long. Woo!
Oh, look at that.
So we hear a beautiful Lake Michigan king. And Chip, you know, that was on the high diver. So we got a lure Jensen dipsy diver and then like basically a J-plug style bait.
Yep.
And they seem to be on a little bit different stuff today. Maybe because the lake's all jacked up, flipped.
Yeah, cold water. I mean, pretty good one bite. We got another board line going here on 100 copper again. That is a spoon on this side.
So a little bit higher. I mean, that's even higher because we were 150 on the one we took a couple swipes on, right?
No, that's 102.
Oh, is it? So yeah, top
this
20
high diver's
feet.
only 60 out.
Top 20 feet of the water column. Big king salmon.
Trying to get up in their temperature range, but we're not marking them out there. We're marking them out deep. But we cover all the bases.
So here's a little different setup, but not really. We just literally at the same time had one on the board line there. Now we've got another one on, what do you call this spoon, Chip? I can never keep up with all these new colors.
That one doesn't have a nickname yet. That's next year's new color. We're doing a little research out here. That's it's a cross between two good baits. Cross between a fishing machine and a Hulk pattern and fishing machine colors. So
But what is the deal we're noticing is these board lines, you know, just like walleye fishing, getting away from the boat or whatever you want to call it, but the copper. So 100 copper fishing in the top 20 feet of the column, which is not typically what you think of for a lot of salmon fishing in the summertime, but it is when you're in skinnier water and that temperature flipped, and we know that because of our fish hook. And that VMC is sharp, but yeah, no name spoon, but I'm thinking this one might make the lineup for next year.
them salmon are a little feisty. They do some nasty things to split rings.
A little more damage than a walleye would do.
I think that was in the net, but and they flip in the net.
All right, so
We're just grab this rod into the high diver.
So we've got a little bit of everything going on this morning. Everybody kind of all hands on deck, but now we've got a totally different presentation to show you, which is a dipsy diver again, but we've got a wire. And you notice a totally different rod. We've got rollers. It's a whole different ball of wax here. And we've got a little bit of chaos because he went into the other line. We got two. We got two fish. You see that?
Yeah.
Got a shake. We've got a shaker on our rigger, and we've got one on what was the low diver. Good chaos this morning.
I think it's time. I'm gonna go take a little nap. You guys take care of this, right?
Well, we're gonna have to nap.
This is too much work for me. I didn't sign up for this. Oops, sorry. Oh, geez, sorry about that. Oh, God, I just can't get that thing away from you. I don't know.
This time, you're still sorry, folks. So you're gonna notice, and this is really something to think about, is, you know, last year me and Chip were talking, and for whatever reason, these longer leads really make a difference, but they also make it really difficult to deal with here. We got a snubber on top of it. So Chip's gonna have to actually grab this leader as I walk backwards.
And net.
And net. You wanna double net these?
Nope. Give me a minute. Come here. Okay.
In?
One. Yeah, let's just bring that one in.
Double
We'll double scoop them. It'll take me too long to get this one out.
Here, let me go over top here.
But he's got the tangle. He's in there.
We got one out there on the board. Roll line is going.
Come on now.
Ooh. We got the fly rig. We've got the J plug on the board line going again. Unbelievable chaos here on the tuna boat, aka Silver Streak Machine.
I think we found him finally.
This is why we bring the young buck CJ, that's Chip's son, because we need somebody to reel that's not gonna get tired like me and Chip.
Isn't it your turn to reel our fish in, Ross?
No.
Holy. He's going right for your line, CJ.
Cross Chip.
Come on. Salmon gymnastics.
Tell me when we're getting close.
He's ready. He's right here. Got a net. I'll come about here.
So we've got that J plug again on the copper line, and again shorter leads, top 20 feet of the column. A little untraditional, a little bit wound up here. This is what's known as good chaos. We talk about that in the walleye boats. It's the same thing salmon fishing here. CJ, pull some line out there.
Yeah, that's right there. There's a blue handle right there next to that. It's just a rubber walleye one, but it's got a big hoop.
Hopefully he'll fit it.
King salmon in the back of the wall. Yeah, this is a good idea. He'll be alright. Figure it out. Not a big fish, though. No problem.
I know what I'm getting Chip for Christmas. It's another Beckman net. Because we needed two for sure there. That is, you know, people always laugh, I got three in my walleye boat. We needed them. That's a good problem. It's not cocky. But now we need to get her undone because we've got just chaos and the fish are biting, and I promise you it will not last, especially salmon fishing. They don't go all day, so speed is the key here to get her done.
We're putting the low diver out. I just kind of set it in place, and I just loosen the drags and let it go out to where I want. Especially with the long leads, if you let it back too fast, that the diver will flip around, then it won't release when you get a fish on there. You got to fight the diver and the fish. Plus, you can just walk away and do something else too if you're running real long leads. But we're only at 60 and 80, so.
You know, I would say I'm not a salmon pro like Capt Chip, but here's the deal. You're gonna wanna have a variety of things out no matter what. So we've got, you know, wire divers, we've got braided high divers, we've got downriggers, and then we've got copper on boards. And really, my trips fishing up here with these guys through the years, there becomes often a distinct preference for one of those. Like we didn't catch them on any downriggers. Maybe it's because they're too close to the boat, but then we catch them all on the boards or vice versa. So you really wanna have a diverse spread out there. And then Chip, even on the lures, like he's a spoon guy, right? But we've got multiple things going on here. We've got the diver with a J plug even.
Yep, we got a couple plugs out. We got one rotator out, a big paddle down the chute. You know, we kind of use that trying to draw fish into the spread. But like we were talking earlier, you know, this water is flipped on us. It's real cold, and the fish kind of scattered. You know, we stayed close to the pier heads this morning because the fish are going to stage and go. So I was, you know, flipped the coin and I kind of guessed right. We got lucky.
So another thing we're going to point out is, you know, I'm looking at your fish hawk. We got the big X4 screen up at the console. We were like at 1.8 and 2.8, and right now we're at 2.1 and 2.8, meaning our speed over ground is about 3 miles an hour almost, and we're about 1.9 at the ball. So this current, you see from
big currents out here
from the dipsy rods, and really that their angle of the dangle makes a really big difference too. So Chip's got the autopilot hanging right here on his hip.
We're driving and trying to
just micro adjustments, just like we're doing with walleye fishing. So while this may be like power fishing, it's really like power finesse fishing.
Yep.
So Chip, as crazy as the current is this morning, you said yesterday it was even worse.
Yes, now I didn't fish up here yesterday, I was south, but the guys were up at the point here. They said it was like a river, man. It was really flowing. I mean, you could see the water swirling and cranking. There's a nice little scum line right there. And what that kind of is, that's like, we look for the thermoclines out here because that's two different bodies of water kind of moving. And what happens is, in my opinion, it's just like all the lower end of the food chain, the 10 steps below an alewife, what salmon are feeding on, that's where all that congregates. So, of course, the bait fish is going to go there.
You said it's almost
swim,
because obviously we're open water, but you said it's almost like a vertical wall or like structure.
Yeah, if you got big two currents going this way, now you got a vertical wall stuff, and just all the stuff congregates there. You know, the bottom end of the food chain. So everything relies on food. We always go to where the bait is.
So besides driving off the fish hawk, is there any other little tricks that you can give when you're dealing with that heavy current?
Well, you go to the Lake Master maps or the NOAA maps and try to see what the surface temps are doing, see if there's temp breaks and stuff, and you can kind of see some of that stuff. Or here they got a buoy, it'll tell you water depth and what the temperatures are. We looked at that this morning to see where the water temp was at. We kind of follow that a lot to see what the lake's doing. Just all those little things, but it's still a big body of water. You're still guessing, and
so like
fishing to me is trying to increase your odds. It's like, why do we put the paddle down there? That's trying to draw fish in to look at all your other baits. You're increasing your odds of getting a bite.
So we're going the other way, catching really good. Now Chip said we got to figure out our speed going back because we're trying to get back on that pod.
See, so now we got straight. Now we're down to 1.7 at the ball, so we're a little slow. But I'm out a little deeper. We gotta get around one boat.
That's why you need a fish hawk. We're 1.7 at the ball and we're almost 3 at the speed over ground. So if you didn't have that, you think you're going 3 miles an hour. Hey, that's too fast, I'm gonna back it down. We're not even almost at barely action for those spoons and things to work.
Yeah, and that's critical most days. They can get pretty picky, especially when, you know, the bite isn't, we had a pretty good morning. We found a nice little pod, but the bite hasn't been ferocious this morning. We didn't have anything in the dark, you know.
So we made a spin back around with that pod that we were on, and Chip's been kind of bouncing in and out because the fish have basically cleaned out of the screen because the bait's gone. So kind of just got into almost a little bit of a loose roamer here, but we're heading out a little bit deeper, just kind of trying to pick up on that pod because you can't fish memories when doing this. They're already gone. But they went somewhere, besides that high diver that CJ got a reel. Grab the leader. Yeah. Kind of a tag team affair here. We're hand over hand ginger drag is what we call this. And so if you guys watched our salmon video last year or even the walleye video we just put out, we didn't catch nearly as many fish on the divers until we lengthened the leaders, and Chip kind of took it to a new extreme this year. I mean, how long are these leads?
20 foot.
20 foot. So when these fish are not biting on your divers, but they're biting on the board lines that are way far out, you have to assume it's a spooking thing of some magnitude. And so even though 20 foot is crazy to deal with and mess with, it's what's getting bites.
Here we go, the Vulcan death grip, so they don't get away, but...
Wait a minute, did you just steal my term?
No, I've always used that term. You don't use it, do you?
Come on.
No, see,
you go to the same place for lying as you do for stealing, Chip.
That's the new bloody, broken nose. That's been a really great bait.
That's what he's gonna get if he says my Vulcan death grip again.
It even works for walleye too. It goes both ways.
Yeah. Look at that, nice. So CJ, we're resetting that diver. I'm gonna show you the diver there. He's got that 20-foot lead. You have to almost kind of like start handing it out to make sure that it doesn't get hooked on, you know, the treble hook, because there's just a whole lot of stuff going on there. But then we're going to show you that diver. So this is a Lure Jensen Dipsy diver, but this has got the mag ring on it. So you can actually use a mag diver or put this mag ring, and that bigger ring is going to give you a larger surface area, so it's going to get out farther. So we can actually get that high diver still pretty deep. And that can be important a lot of days when they're deeper than the fish are right now. So, you know, I know a lot of you guys want to all reel in fish. When you get old and crusty like me and Chip and you fish a couple hundred days a year, you let these big young guys that think they're tough, you let them reel them in, especially when it's a copper line or anything that's like way away from the boat. Chip, like maybe like a short rigger, which maybe take that. Yeah,
because we're only fishing 30, 40 feet down, I can handle that.
Although the big young man did start sitting down on a couple of the fish, so that's when you know the bite's been pretty good, when the young guy is already sitting down. Like he can't even, like, I don't think legally drink yet, but he was already sitting down to reel fish, Chip. Like, we never did that.
It's hard to train these new kids nowadays. You know,
yeah, we never did that. Uphill, both ways. I used to fish with those shoes on.
Big, strong football player looking, you know, Salmon's kicking his butt.
Yeah.
Kids nowadays. What do you want? Let me get this board off a minute.
So we've got the port side going now. Now, whether that's just coincidence or what have you, but it's a lot of times that's angle the dangle. You watch our walleye videos, you see we catch a lot of fish on one side of the boat. So we've got divers and now the copper line on the board, all going on this side. So maybe a speed, maybe an angle thing.
We finally got back on our line from this morning. But I look in and I just turn us back, cock us out a little bit. We got a big current in here, so it's one of them gambles. You just kind of keep fishing around till you find something that works.
So you guys that say, I'm not getting a fish hawk, how do I read the current? You get a fish hawk. That's what you do. You get a fish hawk.
Fish hawk and an autopilot. Two key things in consistency in fishing. Still going for a while. That was a 250 copper.
Going on runs. We're gonna go eat, and you tell us when you need the net.
Yeah, we're gonna go take a little nap, and maybe Junior will have this thing in by then.
Let us know when you need the Beckman back there, but we're gonna go take a snooze.
Making some ground.
That 9-foot handle going out that far, I'm not gonna lie to you, is hard.
That's a nice fish.
Now, I think it's funny, Chip, that CJ thought that we were gonna reel that in with 250 feet. Like, that's kind of funny, isn't it?
This is a big old girl.
What kind of spoon we got?
That's a blue Hulk. That was a new color this year. That's been on fire since we've been up here. This is our 5th weekend up here.
So one of the things when we're fishing with Chip is we often have things that you can't buy. So watching these videos is going to get you the heads up on what's coming out, you know, next year even, or
this was new this year.
Oh, that's this year's.
But see, that's that pattern. So a lot of those new ones we're playing with, this same pattern, we just put some other colors through there that's been pretty good.
Chip, first he questioned us that we didn't know that there was a fish on, first off. Then we see it's a shaker and it's on the surface, and then he loses it.
It's hard to get good help nowadays.
I mean, this is ridiculous. Like that was a sandwich. So you heard us kind of talking briefly about leader length and those melees that we have with the fish. And the last handful of trips we've done up here, we've caught fish on divers, but not as good. And Chip went to kind of crazy long leaders. Same thing if you watch our walleye videos that we're doing, but 20-foot long. And really, you almost have to quite literally hand over hand those. But all leaders are not made the same, and so leader material is actually different than regular fluorocarbon line or something like that. It's much stiffer, much more abrasion resistance, and also gives a little bit different action, believe it or not, on the lures. And so not all leader line is made the same. We've got some P-line Shinsei, so this is a higher grade. They use different resins on these, so that the leader line is just not leader line. And the other thing we want you to pay attention to is we're using, Chip's got 20 pound on, but 20 is also just not 20. So look at different brands and even different grades. Even within the P-line family, there are different, you know, grades or levels of fluorocarbon. And so look at the diameter. So like in the Shinsei, I like the 20 pound, but in other diameters or other types, it's going to be different. So you may need the 25 or actually a little less to get to approximately that same diameter that we have, which is 0.0163 on the Shinsei. So when you're searching for line, make sure you look at the diameter and compare that across different types of line, manufacturer's a line and quality's a line.
You're part of another one, did you?
I didn't even do nothing. I mean, is this a PETA trip? That's like,
I still there.
that's like
He's still on there.
4 of them or something. These young guys need to understand that they have to take the same abuse that we took.
Well, you lose 3 in a row, you gotta go sit with John for half an hour. Detention.
Sitting at John, I bet you that smells good.
Yeah. What happens if you're a farmer on the boat?
This may not be the biggest that we've caught, but Chip, tell us about this spoon here.
Can you handle that one?
Yeah, but tell us about the spoon. So this is like the exciting part of this is, you know, this is part of the R&D process, right?
Yep.
This has gone a bunch, and you said there's only 4 or 5 in existence.
Yep.
And you can see them, a little bit of chew marks. You guys know the Silver Streak paint jobs, they stay on real good, but you can only get so much chewing before you need to.
Yeah. We'll see the. They originally started out as a fishing machine, the orange, the double orange edges. They would have got diagonal taped. That's a fishing machine. Then we put the UV tape and do the black ends like a Hulk pattern. So we combined 2 good patterns into one. Just tinkering and, you know, adding the UV tape on everything.
Nice.
Seems to be working pretty good.
Nice.
I got some buddies up in Frankfurt that've been doing good on it too. So
And you always put, for what, how many years you been putting VMC hooks on this?
around 40 years. That's all we've ever used.
Another successful trip with the Silver Streak boys, Captain Chip Cartwright on the tuna boat, if you know, you know. Chip, do you have anything you'd like to leave us with, any amazing thoughts? I'm afraid.
Well, I can't say on camera about fishing with you, but normally
it was special, wasn't it?
it's get out there, have fun, catch some fish. It's always a blast. It was a pleasure fishing with you. If I say, at least you kept my kid in check and rode him a little bit.
Yeah, that's what we do. We got to make sure the young generation doesn't get soft. But hopefully you like this video on salmon fishing. A lot of these tactics and things are basically just a little bit slightly different version of walleye fishing. So make sure you check us out at bigwaterfishing.com, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. Like, subscribe, and comment. Those help the algorithms. That helps us put more of these videos out. So until the next episode, Chip, we're done. Well, we're not done. You're going to clean more fish, but I'm done.
I got a few to go. I'm done. He's not. Or you're done. I'm not.